Thanks for joining me on the 249 Marathon Project Week 15 update. I'm John McDonald from JM Run Coach, and in this video we'll go through all of the Week 15 training sessions and how they went. I'll also go through the strength and conditioning, all the metrics, and I'll talk about how I'm feeling going into the final week of preparation for the 2024 Valencia Marathon, where I hope to break 250 for the first time. If you enjoy this content, maybe you're a runner, maybe you have been following along, I will continue this channel, JM Run Coach, and put out new content every week. If you enjoy that, I would greatly appreciate you hitting the subscribe button. Doesn't cost you anything, and at the minute, it'll help put this in front of a few more people and maybe hold me a little bit more accountable and make it a tiny bit more achievable. And I will take all the help I can get for this 249 project. The training sessions. Monday's a rest day. Sat at my computer, did very little. Perfect rest day. So that tends to be what my Mondays have been looking like. And yeah, it's good recovery. Tuesday was the first of back-to-back 20 milers, or what was supposed to be. The objective, the training effect I was looking to get out of back-to-back 20s in the second to last week of training before the taper, was to get that mental fatigue, that really hard part of the marathon and having to push through. I wanted to replicate that in my head and use my mental techniques to get through those last 6 miles of the marathon, which we all know is the most difficult. That's the training effect I was looking to get, and I actually got that on Tuesday's session alone, because what happened was I ended up getting dehydrated. Now, that's a very unusual thing for me because I drink a ton of water. As you know, through the metrics, I'm at least 3 liters a day. I actually have a 750 milliliter bottle that I have every single morning before I run, before I do anything. So I didn't think it never even dawned on me that I could get dehydrated. My wife went with me for the first few miles on this run, and she had a bottle of water for me, and I took water when I needed it. At about 23 kilometers, I stopped at the house. I had another 300 to 400 mil. I still had 12K to go, and I had never even crossed my mind that I could get dehydrated. And with about 8K to go, oh man, did it hit me. If you've ever experienced dehydration when running, it's like wearing concrete blocks for shoes. Your legs just don't want to move. And I really struggled. Now, I did push through. I think my max or my slowest pace, it did start to approach the 10-minute mile. And I had nothing. I could do nothing about it. I just felt really, really tough. I felt awful. To be honest, that's the training effect I wanted to get from Wednesday's 20 miler. So I found that training effect on Tuesday. Perfect. It was awful. I would highly recommend you don't aim to get dehydrated. I did. I got what I wanted out of it. And after some recovery, 2 or 3 hours laying down, plenty more water, some food, I was grand. Wednesday was supposed to be another 20 miler. Given that I got what I needed out of Tuesday's session, I didn't need to go through and put my body through another 20 miler. So I went out with my wife and we did 3 miles easy. And, it was far better for recovery, and I felt great after it. Some people would see Tuesday's session and dehydration as a confidence killer. I took that as a real positive because I knew what the training effect was that I was trying to get out of Wednesday, and I got it on Tuesday. So it just meant instead of a 10-day taper, I have an 11-day taper, which can only be useful. Thursday was a rest day. I took it as a rest day. I did my body weight workout, and that's about it. It set me up nicely for the rest of the week. And this being the taper, it was supposed to be the first day of the taper. It was the second, and it was just a typical rest day. Friday was a brilliant run. I had a 10K to do, 6 miler, which I did steady to hard pace. Ended up being a 6:44 per mile pace, or a 4:11. Worked out really well. I felt excellent. The wind was absolutely howling, and it was an excellent training session. So I was really pleased with that. Saturday was another 5K, 3-miler, easy. Went out with my wife again. Had a very enjoyable run. Weather was superb. Just a nice, easy taper 5K. Sunday was the last of the Sunday run days before Marathon Sunday, and it turned out to be a 13-miler, 21K. I mentioned last week that I was going to do this with a bit of pace, and I did. I took it as a fartlek, and I think my fastest mile was 6:30 per mile, and which is what's 355, 356-ish, and really enjoyed it. It was nice to know I only had 13 miles to do, and it's always nice when you get to the finish of that last long run, knowing that the next time you're going to run more than 10 miles is on race day. Strength and conditioning, I did 5 days of bodyweight workouts and 2 days of yoga. There was one day during the week that we had company staying the night. It meant I didn't get my workout done in the morning, so I moved it, and I did one on Saturday, which I would normally do a yoga session on Saturday, and I didn't have time to do both. So I did get my 5 bodyweight workouts and 2 yoga sessions. The metrics. So we'll start with bodyweight. I weighed in at 153.2, which was down 1 pound from the previous week. That's 69.5 kilograms, which is down 0.5 kilograms. Am I happy? I think I am. It's not where I wanted to be. I'm gonna play the positive card here and say I think I'm carrying more muscle than I did earlier this year in Manchester, where I was at 144, I think, or 142 on race day. Because I look at myself and I don't know where I would get another 10 pounds off. If it is a fact that I'm running with more muscle, it's not like I'm carrying bulk, but it's lean muscle, if you know what I mean. I don't think it's extra weight. I think it's lean muscle. I think if the only thing to do is take a positive out of it. At this point, I'm not going to make it a negative. I'm not going to let it hit my confidence at all. I'm going to say I think it's going to make me a stronger runner, being able to keep my pace longer, and hit the speed endurance that I missed in Manchester. So maybe I was too light in Manchester. Who knows? As far as the rest of the metrics go, my average resting heart rate remained at 41 beats per minute. I think that's 3 or 4 weeks running at 41. That's fine. HRV, heart rate variability, was down 6 points. It was at 90.6. It is what it is. Sleep, I was at 6 hours and 40 minutes on average per night, which was down 23 minutes, but still right in my wheelhouse. I think that's fine. As far as protein goes, I was up from 109 up to 113 on average. So yeah, I mentioned about protein that I was going to slide the scale up a little bit in carbs and down a little bit in protein. So I'm looking at roughly around 20% of my calories from protein, as opposed to 25%. So not a huge change, but a slight change. As far as water goes, I was up 200 ml on average per day, 3.2 liters of water per day. I probably could have used another couple of liters maybe on Tuesday, but I'm going to have to live with that one. But still, 3.2 liters of water per day on average is pretty damn good. As far as volume goes, I ran about 76 kilometers, which is down 26 kilometers from the previous week. That is 47 miles which is down 16 and a bit miles from the previous week, which was a pretty heavy week. And this one coming into the taper is really light. So that's it. Those are the metrics. That's the strength and conditioning. Those are the training sessions. And now it's only one thing left to do, and that's to go out in Valencia and just give it everything I've got. I feel good. I feel positive. I feel strong. I feel lean. Everything seemed to come together at the right time. I'm very much looking forward to this. It's a great course. The weather is lining up nicely. It's looking like 10 degrees at the start line, up to about 18 degrees. And let me just check. Hey, Google, convert 10 degrees Celsius to Fahrenheit. 10 degrees Celsius is equal to 50 degrees Fahrenheit. You heard it yourself, 50 degrees Fahrenheit. And it should get up to about 18. Hey, Google, convert 18 degrees Celsius to Fahrenheit. 18 degrees Celsius is equal to 64.4 degrees Fahrenheit. So from 50 to 64. That for me is nice. That's the kind of weather I like running in. It's given pure sunshine. Valencia actually is pretty well sheltered. There's lots of trees, there's lots of buildings. You know, you're in a city. There's not a lot of exposure. There is some, obviously, but you're not out in the sun a lot, so there is shade. I'm looking forward to this. I think it's going to be absolutely perfect for me. Now it's just a matter of going out and doing it. So if you've got any spare positive thoughts, any spare positive vibes you can put out there in the universe, I would greatly appreciate them. Uh, Other than that, I will check in with you on Friday with just a brief message, let you know what the plan is and how we're going to go about tackling this race. And until then, I'm just going to look to stay healthy and to stay injury free and keep the feet up. A tiny little bit of intensity this week. A mile or two of fast running, and just mostly short, easy runs, just to keep the legs fresh. That's all I'm looking to do, and hit Valencia feeling really strong. So until Friday, have a great week, and I will chat to you then.